What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. Last week, I went out and went to every Dollar Tree in my area. I guess there's 6 or 7 of them. And I grabbed up every $1 horror movie that I did not already own. And here I am shooting a video to show you guys what I picked up. My weekend was good. You? I hope everybody out there is doing well and staying safe. All right, so with my wife having broke her foot early in the summer, we haven't actually had a chance to do this year. She's all healed up now, but we've just been playing a whole lot of catch up with a whole lot of stuff. So one day last week we ran out and decided to do that. We went to all the Dollar Trees, picked up a whole bunch of $1 stuff that neither one of us probably really need, quite frankly. And in the process, I grabbed up a whole bunch of movies. So here we go. First up, I got something called, I don't know if that's Kukui or Kukui or whatever it is. We're going to go with Kukui, the boogeyman. All right, let me get my eyes on. And away we go. Intense, fast-paced, and very well done. When children start disappearing without a trace, a young girl starts to suspect that a legendary evil, a boogeyman known as the Kukui, is responsible. I want to say that it is Kukui. That sounds familiar to me for some reason. I don't know if I saw it in a movie or if I saw it on like some documentary. I think it's Kukui. According to legend, the Kukui would come out at night to snatch up misbehaving children and take them back to his cave to be eaten. Her only chance to save the children is to locate its cave and destroy the Kukui before it is too late. I want to say that I have definitely heard about that, and I thought it was either Mexican or Spanish, some sort of legendary thing. I don't know. Kukui. It actually sounds pretty cool. Next up, we have Croczilla. This includes 4 bonus movies. It includes Croczilla, Attack of the Giant Leeches, Piranha, Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, and the Killer Shrews. I believe that I have Piranha, and I have, at the very least, I've heard of the Killer Shrews. I am definitely not going to read the back of this box and read all 5 descriptions of these movies. But Croczilla, there you go. Next up, a psycho's path. Play on words. All right, and in this one, Quentin Rampage Jackson from UFC glory, or UFC fame, I should say. He stars in this movie, so that actually caught my eye in and of itself. Right off the bat, I'm going into this thinking that I haven't read the description. I think this is going to be terrible. Look at him. He looks like the Wolfman, or just like a filthy homeless guy. Whatever. Let's see. The residents of Brownsville don't know it yet. Written terrible. Don't know it yet, but their small sleepy town is about to be awakened by death. After apprehending a drifter for brutally killing a young woman in nearby Brookdale, Captain Peters receives orders to transport the man to a mental institution. But when this psychopath takes out the hospital staff and escapes, he continues his murderous rampage, starring Quentin Rampage Jackson, his murderous rampage, and it's up to Peters and his small police force to hunt him down and stop the carnage before the psychopath killer strikes close to Peters' home. So, sounds interesting. I have a bad feeling about this one. Quentin Rampage Jackson is the star. He's the marquee name in this movie. How good could this possibly be? Hey, Quentin Rampage may be a badass fighter. I know nothing of his acting prowess. Next up, Jerusalem. On Judgment Day, hell shall inherit the earth. And then it's written in another language that I do not know. What is that? Le jour du judgment. That sounds French. I don't know. All right. Gloriously morbid and dreadfully delicious. Two American girls. What is that big? What is that? All right. So everything on here has two different languages. English and then whatever that other language is. That looks French to me. But what the hell do I know? Two American girls on vacation follow a mysterious and handsome anthology student on a trip to Jerusalem. The party better take place in Jerusalem. It appropriately should. The party, or they really mistitled this movie. The party is cut short when the trio are caught in the middle of a biblical apocalypse. Trapped between the ancient walls of the holy city, the three travelers must survive long enough to find a way out as the fury of hell is unleashed upon them. Sounds good. I like the way that all looks. I just like the look of that. I've seen other movies that look like that. I don't know if you have seen Spring. Spring looks like that. What's the movie where the kid's out dancing? Or he goes out, they're getting ready to go on vacation or go travel the world and he gets bit by a vampire in Italy. What the hell is that called? Afflicted. I'm not saying this is like Afflicted, but that's similar filming style to me. Haven't seen Jerusalem. Looking forward to checking it out. Afflicted and Spring are both awesome. Next up, Pumpkins. You reap what you sow. Let's see. Wild, over the top, and totally horrifying. An elderly man is hopelessly devoted to his prized pumpkin patch. When some delinquents destroy his prized possessions, he dies of a massive heart attack and is reborn as an abomination. Hell-bent on revenge, the creature and his minions rain havoc and not wreak havoc. You can't see that. But it says rain havoc and not wreak havoc. The creature and his minions rain havoc over guilty and innocent alike. So this sounds real dumb. But I'll check it out at some point. It's Halloween time. October is a few days away. I might watch Pumpkins. All right. Terror Tales. No happy endings. Nice. It's a star-studded old-school story. Starring Lorene London, Ari Lehman, Jan Birch, Jennifer Runyon, Felissa Rose, and Christopher Showerman. So, of this star-studded cast, I know Felissa Rose. All right, let's see. When abducted by a psychopath, a husband is taken on a road trip from hell where he is subject to 3 horrifying tales of the macabre while his family is held captive in an attached cargo trailer. Who the hell knows? It's been given 4 out of 5 skulls by Horror Fuel. If that means anything, it means nothing to me. All right. So I guess that just means 80% skulls. Whatever. Who the hell cares? Curse of the Scarecrow. That glare drives me crazy. Curse of the Scarecrow. Death is Watching. Cover looks cool. I do like the cover art. All right, let's see. That's great. White writing on a tan background. This is going to go great. A new monster movie is born. A new movie monster is born. I am not dyslexic. At least I don't think I am. Separated for 20 years after the brutal murder of their parents, June and Carl are reuniting at the family barn. It's a good place for that. At the family barn where the horror took place to commemorate the anniversary of their parents' death. That whole situation sounds like a bad idea. A family reunion at a barn where your parents were killed 20 years earlier. It's good. Accompanied by her therapist and best friend, no surprise that there is a therapist, June is about to uncover the truth behind the locals' belief in an ancient curse. Was the murderous scarecrow merely a figment of the young children's imagination, making the real serial killer's identity, or something else? Masking the real killer's identity or something else. So the whole idea of this movie, the whole premise sounds pretty awful. But who the hell knows? Here's a child's drawing of a scarecrow. There's the white writing on a tan background I was talking about. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. All right. Curse of the Witch's Doll. Her soul lives on. I've been seeing doll heads in Spirit Halloween, and I think I saw one in TJ Maxx or something like that. What's going on? Why are there doll heads out there? I know doll heads have been a thing for years of supposedly being creepy. I don't find them creepy, but now I'm actually seeing Halloween decorations. Whatever. A hair raiser with plenty of surprises along the way. There is a finely tuned sense of menace throughout. This is addictive. It includes how the doll was made featurette. Adeline Gray's... nasty. Ugh. Adeline Gray's attempt to escape bombing in her hometown leads to a derelict, creepy manor in the woods. When Adeline's young daughter goes missing during a game of hide-and-seek, a series of inexplicable events lead her to believe a haunted doll holds a vengeful soul, the soul of a murdered witch. Tell me that don't sound stupid. As Adeline's desperate search for her daughter continues, it soon becomes clear to have any hope of being reunited, she must defeat the curse of the witch's doll. I hope I never watch this movie. My God. All right. Here's something that looks like it was stolen straight out of like the imagination of who designs the Saw movie covers or movie artwork. The Alpha Test, an interactive nightmare. Looks kind of cool, actually. I kind of like that. Is that CGI? What is that? I can't tell if that's CGI or if it's a mask. Who cares? The Alpha is a cutting-edge home assistant. Oh, that's right. I did actually read the back of this, and it sounds pretty good. The Alpha is a cutting-edge home assistant that is designed to tend to your every need, and DJ Connors has just won his very own model. When the Connors family starts abusing the robot, JD's sister Lily steps in and not only insists that the Alpha has feelings, but teaches the machine human values. When the Alpha's attempt to end the abuse it decides that murdering the entire family is the only way to free itself from their torment. I'd tell you what, man, I have a problem with reading sometimes. My vision sucks. This actually sounds pretty good to me. Very interesting. Of the lot so far, this is the one that I find to be most intriguing. You only get one. 3 lives. That's a great catchphrase for the title of this movie. Know your enemy. Emma awakes trapped in an abandoned bunker. That's got to be a hell of a way to wake up. To wake up where you did not fall asleep or get passed out, whatever. It's just always got to be weird. Nah, nothing. Her only means of escape from her savage captors lies with the other 2 prisoners. The man who had raped her 15 years earlier and his best friend. There's a typo there. You can't see it. They spelled the word "the" with 2 T's. However, escaping from the bunker is just the beginning, and Emma needs to figure out who she can trust to survive. That's got to be great to wake up stuck with those 2 dudes, especially the one dude. Next up, Restricted Area. This has Robert Don, Randy Wayne, and Sean C. Phillips. Don't know those first 2 dudes. Sean C. Phillips is Cool Duder here on the YouTubes. I've been watching Sean C. Phillips for seemingly about 100 years. One of the first YouTubers I actually really started to watch a lot. If you're not familiar with him, you might be. You might not be. He kind goes to Walmarts and Targets and Best Buys every week on Tuesday when movies are released to see what the stores offer. It's not why you're here. 4 blue-collar friends recently laid off from the steel mill take one last camping trip into the wilderness, where they discover a backwoods cult with a cataclysmic agenda. What started out as a relaxing getaway quickly turns into a fight for survival. This actually sounds pretty good to me. I like movies like this. But I don't see Sean C. Phillips on the back of this cover anywhere. Whatever. Shout out to Cool Duder. All right. Blood Moon. This night, the blood will flow. A surprisingly great monster movie. That is a quote from Phil Wheat from Nerdly. A deserted mining town lit by the glow of a reddish full moon. A stagecoach full of passengers. Stagecoach! Oh, this is like an old-timey Western type. Whatever. A stagecoach full of passengers in an enigmatic gunslinger find themselves up against 2 bloodthirsty outlaws on the run from a deadly bank robbery. As their worlds collide and the weary travelers attempt to escape, it becomes apparent that a bigger menace lurks outside on the plains. Beware of the moon, stick to the road. An otherworldly beast that only appears on the night of a blood-red moon. Guess it's appropriately titled. I like werewolf movies. I just do. All right. Next up, Danny Trejo stars in, because all of his movies are awesome. Danny Trejo stars in Voodoo Possession. There's our boy right there. Good old Danny. I have a documentary about Danny Trejo. I think it's called Champion. It's very, very good. All right. It's sort of his success story. Where he come, prison and drugs and all that shit. There is a fate worse than death. Imagine an insatiable demon that feeds on blood, thrives on pain, and reaches from beyond the grave to torment the living and the dead. For believers and skeptics alike, there is nothing in this world or the next to rival the relentless evil of a voodoo possession. Burdened since childhood with a gnawing sense of guilt, cynical Aiden Chase journeys to a Haitian insane asylum in search of his missing brother. Upon arriving, he discovers all the inmates, not a hell of a prison with 3 inmates. He discovers all the inmates and the hospital administrator, portrayed by Danny Trejo, are seemingly possessed by a bloodthirsty voodoo spirit. Now, Aiden must abandon reality and descend into a terrifying spirit world to try and rescue his brother, or they will both be damned for eternity. I don't even know what to say about my feelings for that. I'm very confused. I like Danny Trejo, but a lot of his stuff is not so good. Next up, American Zombieland. Kristen Renton, Sandra Curry, and Thomas Calabro. I don't know who any of those people are. Lights, camera, run. A wannabe horror film director is about to have his life and the world he knows change forever when he gets his big break and that he has been waiting for a lifetime. Unfortunately, it isn't Hollywood that's knocking at his door. That looks kind of cool. And that don't look too bad. Whatever. It's definitely a low-budget film, but we'll give it a shot. Next up is Toxic Shark. And this comes with 2 bonus movies. And the bonus movies are Beneath the Mississippi and the one that I went over earlier, Croczilla. I ain't reading this either. Look how small that rating is. Your boy is half blind. I ain't got a chance. You'll be here all day with me. Look at that thing. Crazy. All right, so there you go. He's pissed. Toxic Shark is not happy. Look at the size of that shark compared to the boat. It's like the Meg. I like the Meg. I don't care what anybody says. The Meg was fun. All right. Amityville, Mount Misery Road. At least that's what I think that says. Amityville, Mount Misery Road. Stupid. Be careful what you search for. How many Amityville movies are they going to make? And how many good ones actually exist? Something tells me this ain't one of them. Charlie and Boozy, B-U-Z-I, Buzzy. We're going to go with Buzzy. Charlie and Buzzy are ghost enthusiasts fascinated by the legend of the scariest road in America, Mount Misery Road. All right, so I was right. It is Mount Misery Road. Missing the period. Missing the period, folks. Confuses me. The couple continue their adventure into the nearby woods, only to discover that they have trapped themselves in a whirlpool of paranormal activities. So I don't know which one's Charlie, and I don't know which one's Buzzy, because there's a thing out there where girls call themselves Charlie too. I don't know. So there's Charlie and Buzzy. One has to assume there, and there is Mount Misery Road. You see, they even got a period there. Whatever. So that I like movies like that too. But you never know. I like most horror movies. I'm hard stretched to like pick out a certain genre or subgenre that I don't like. Not the biggest vampire guy in the world, but every time I say that and I actually put some thought into it, I like a lot of vampire movies. So I don't know what I don't like. And if I don't know, how the hell is anybody else supposed to know? Fear has found a home, The Cabin. I like the simplicity of this cover. A brutal, voyeuristic masterpiece. If any of that's accurate, I'm going to like this movie. Indie horror at its best. I also like indie horror. Relationship troubles take a backseat to terror when a young couple's retreat to the family cabin turns into a living nightmare as a vicious psychopath drags them into an involuntary game of cat and mouse. So, I like movies like this, man. But I don't understand at what point do you realize that it's not a real good idea to go in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere where you don't have cell service, and half the time your electricity's dog shit. Nobody can find you. Nobody knows where you are, except for that one guy who you don't want to know who you are. Whatever. Know where you are. Didn't Ash teach us that, like, in the beginning of the 80s, like in 1981 or 82? Didn't Ash tell us that? All right. Dead Voices with that crazy dude from Van Wilder that I don't know his name. Some secrets are better left buried. Let's go. Let's see, I saw him, phone interview, whatever. All right, so the extras, it's got fake interviews. Emily and Sarah are two filmmakers preparing to shoot a documentary project about spiritual mediums. After their first failed attempt with a faux medium, they use that word a lot. All right, they used it in the description of the movie, and they use it in the description of the bonus features. They come across Mike, a seemingly legitimate communicator with the dead. Mike reveals a disturbing mystery. Sarah's fiancé, Lucas, long thought to have been killed in the war in Iraq, might be alive at his childhood home near the Yosemite Mountains. Mike joins the girls as they venture off into the abandoned home. Soon, dark secrets and horrific events begin to unfold. I'm kind of intrigued. All right, next up. I really like the cover of this movie. Be careful what you look for, and English haunting. I like the cover work here, but I have a thing for skulls. That looks particularly cool to me. All right. Live a lie or die the truth. Die for the truth. Live a lie or die for the truth. Read it for yourself. I'm stammering. All right. In 1960s England, Blake Cunningham and his alcoholic mother are forced to move into the mysterious Clemente Hall. Clemente, Clemonte, Clemente Hall, a vast isolated manor house, to care for his dying grandfather who resides in the attic room. Isn't that just called the attic? Soon, ghostly goings-on fill the house with dread. As it becomes apparent, grandfather's illness may have a supernatural cause that can only be cured by uncovering the terrifying secrets of the house and its dark history. Blake Cunningham and his alcoholic mother. So if the first word to describe you is alcoholic, you don't have a lot of good qualities, or they're buried under being an alcoholic. I know a little bit of something about that. That actually sounds pretty good to me. All right, minutes past midnight. Little Terrors, presented by Little Terrors. May be the next generation of horror masters. Fear starts at midnight. Doesn't Fear start at 3:15? Why is that so common? As midnight falls, all manner of terror invades the earth. It's bold. That's not true. Demons, cannibals, killers, ghosts, and monsters swarm the world in these tales of the supernatural, the fantastic, and the just plain horrific. Featuring 9 stories handpicked through Rue Morgue and Unstable Ground long-running genre film festival Little Terrors. Prepare to see some of the finest the world of fright has to offer. Be warned, these tales are not for the faint of heart. So this sounds like an anthology film with 9 stories in it. How long is this? What's the running time? It's only 98 minutes. So 10 minutes a story, a little more than 10 minutes a story, 10 minutes, 10 seconds a story, roughly. Who the hell knows? I don't feel like doing math, but I think that's close. It sounds interesting to me. I like anthology films. Starring Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who, Jason Fleming from Snatch, X-Men First Class, and Barbara Steele from Black Sunday. That actually sounds good to me. I like a good anthology film. So that's all the standard definition DVDs, as if that wasn't enough. And then I picked up 4 Blu-rays. Trick or Treat, which I have really no hopes for. It just that just looks cheap and silly to me. Former gangster Greg Kielty, Kielty, Greg Kielty, has settled into a normal life at 45 with a wife and a new baby. Struggling with the mundane nature of his new existence, Greg's life is thrown back into turmoil when his estranged brother Dan shows up at his door claiming to have drunkenly run someone over on Halloween night. Thanks for the ride, lady. Soon Greg discovers that the deceased might be a psychopathic gangster's son. Good. Meanwhile, that's a great combination. Psychopathic gangster. Son. Whatever. He might be a nice boy. The father might be the problem. Continue on. Meanwhile, Greg has been having bizarre hallucinations which draw him further into the mess created by his brother, urging him to solve the mystery of what happened that night. All right. I don't know, man. That just don't sound good to me. Whatever. Here's one that I don't have a lot of hopes for either because it just sounds ridiculous. The Killer Tattooist. So, does he tattoo you then kill you? Does he kill you then tattoo you? What the hell? A series of murders have occurred. The victims found tattooed and skinned. Well, if they're found tattooed, would that not require them to still have their skin? Or is it cut off and then put on display? Who the hell knows? When the police hear a family that was found slaughtered had planned to get tattooed together before disappearing, they send undercover detective Eva to the local tattoo parlor. There, Eva meets Nathan, a charismatic tattooist, not knowing that he is the serial killer that she has been seeking. Kind of the title and the description gives this away. When the two start dating, so it goes somewhere else. Eva has no idea how much danger she is putting herself in and what a horrible end she could face by the hands of the deranged killer tattooist. I don't even know. That I'm kind of interested, but moving on. The Project. There's no escape. All right. That's some tiny writing. After supposedly witnessing a drug deal, Melody Dawson is kidnapped by a ruthless, rage-filled man named Jason and his brother Devin. Isn't it like an unwritten rule that you can't have a killer in a movie named Jason? Isn't that kind of taken? Devin and a woman named Ashley through... Oh, hold on. I lost place here. There it is. Melody is locked in the basement where she can hear the conversations between Jason, Devin, and a woman named Ashley through the vent. She tries to use the information she gains to play them, but they find out her father is wealthy and consider asking for a ransom. Just when she needs her wits the most, Melody starts seeing a double of herself, who starts giving her instructions on how to escape. Now, that sounds terrible, or silly, or whatever. What the hell's that kid's name from the Transformers? The one who keeps getting in trouble. That looks like a bootleg version of him to me. What the hell's that kid's name? He was also in... whatever. Why can't I remember his name? That's going to bug me now. It's got an unusual name. The last thing I got is Winchester with Helen Mirren. I've been seeing this movie at Walmart and Target for what seemingly years, but I never picked it up. I found it for $1, so why not? This one is also, everything is written in 2 different languages. On an isolated stretch of land outside of San Francisco sits the world's most famous haunted house. Constructed by heiress Sarah Winchester, portrayed by Helen Mirren, to break her family's curse. The massive house was designed to imprison the vengeful spirits who fell victim to the rifle designed by the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, based on actual events. That sounded like it came to a halt very quickly. But yeah, I've been curious about this movie for a while. I remember seeing the trailers for this when it came out. Never wanted to spend the money to buy it because it always seemed a little bit more than I wanted to spend for something that I was kind of interested in. But it's definitely worth $1. All right. I still can't remember that kid's name. The damn kid from the Transformers. And he was in Peanut Butter Falcon. What the hell is his name? I know somebody's going to tell me, and I'm going to remember it immediately. I'll probably remember it by the time I'm done editing this video. That's it. I'm getting out of here. That was more than enough. That was a big, big haul that I found at Dollar Tree. All right. Gonna go. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point and all my babbling and poor reading and fleeting thoughts, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one, folks. Later.